Hey everyone, welcome. Chris and Jacob here from Midwest Coaster fans. Thanks again for joining us. Happy early New Year to all you guys. We're doing this early because I know a lot of you guys are out there to go to whatever celebration you guys plan on going to, celebrating getting rid of 2020. We're ready to get rid of 2020 as well.
Yes, sir. We're going to get rid of it staying in tonight, though, unfortunately. But that's okay. Staying safe.
Ready to get rid of it and bring in 2021 so we could finally ride the coasters that were supposed to open this year. Let's see what everybody has to say. We'll go ahead and get into a couple POVs here. What's going on, Jack? Welcome. He was standing by waiting on the show to start today. My favorite Midwest Coaster fan. Hey, Jacob. All right. All right. Let's go ahead and let me go ahead and stream. I'm going to be streaming off of YouTube a little bit so you guys can kind of see some stuff. Give me 1 second here. I'm still getting everything ready to go here. All right.
How are you still in bed? It's 10 o'clock, 10:30. Shame. Ooh, I know what this is.
Everybody knows what that is. We're gonna first talk. We're gonna first talk about Iron Gwazi. This is probably the #1, and then Velocicoaster, which I forgot to put on the thumbnail. We're gonna go watch this POV. Myself and unfortunately Jacob was unable to join us on that show, but myself and Zach were able to do a review kind of to this and slow it down and replay it. So let's go ahead and watch it and we'll kind of analyze it and then we'll talk about it, hear what you guys have to say. Now remember, this thing was probably tested early in the morning, and many of you guys that have rode RMCs probably know that RMCs take a little while to warm up. They're not fastest in the morning. They're more faster with more weight in them and more faster if it rains outside or in the afternoon to evening time. So you got to take that into the equation on it. Let's go ahead and watch this POV. There's no sound. So give me 1 second. Actually, let me remove this and then let me bring the sound back in here because I messed up on that. And it won't let me remove it. Oh, there we go. Share screen. And there's a lot of elements on here that I think RMC's done a really good job on here. You got to remember that all these elements, this is like a miniature version of Zadra, mixed with a lot of different elements of the best RMCs in the United States and the world. So let's go ahead and watch it. Jake. Okay, so look at that drop there. This drop, and then you have these. Let me go ahead and pause that right there. This is what's going to take the longest. You see on that first drop, we have the near misses and the head choppers already at the beginning of the ride going underneath the structure at the very beginning. What was the top speed of that? What's the top speed of the coaster again?
76.
So 76 miles per hour. I think that makes it the fastest RMC in the world, correct?
That would be Zach.
We'll talk about that in a second, Jack. I did read your comment. Technically, that's still classified as a wooden coaster because most of the structure is wooden and the track's wooden. But yeah, it's Gravity Group and CCI. Well, we'll just say CCI is the one who started doing that. And members of CCI went over and created Gravity Group. So that's the reason for that. Let's go ahead and continue watches. Everybody's still waking up this morning. Okay, so yeah, look at this turn. And here's the first, that's the second pop of airtime. Floater. turn, turn, floater, ejector, floater, another inversion, another turn, floater, ejector, ejector, floater, and then into the station. Let's rewatch that one more time because that video could be really fast and you guys might have missed a lot of things on here. So let's slow it down real fast again. Here's the drop. This, I'm pointing it right here. Can you see the arrow on here, Jacob?
Mm-hmm.
So this first drop leads into this overbank turn. Look how drawn out it is. This is going to be a huge pop of floater right here. I just wish they did more theming around this, but yeah, you can see this first one. I'm gonna slow it down here, and then right here's this is how many times the track goes underneath. 1, 2, 3 times just in this one area. That doesn't count the barrel roll right underneath the first drop as well. And then this is leading in that first. So you're basically going to go down for many of you guys that have, I don't know if you guys have been on RMCs, but you're going to go on. And then as soon as it starts coming back up is when you're going to start floating out of your seat. And I'm telling you, this ride's going to have a huge amount of it. This is what I like about it, the head choppers that they added in here. Head chopper moments, and then another overbank turn. Inversion right there. So you go straight from that overbank turn straight into that inversion. So you're going to get a floater, and then you're going to get a pop. You get an inversion pop right after that. The brake one looks exhilarating.
And see, RCDB says that there's 12 airtime points throughout the coaster as well. So,
yeah, we counted 12 to 14 when we did that video. Hold on a second. Yeah, I think if you slow it down, I think a lot of people are able to see exactly what we're talking about. Yeah, the start of the element, and then going ejector down. Pull out looks tight. Brake run. I hope they don't do a flat. Well, we'll talk about that later. So here's another time that you hit that. That's the beginning of the lift hill, isn't it?
No, beginning, middle, somewhere in there.
Yeah, so you're going underneath that structure, what, 3 to 4 different times. That's the turn I'm looking most forward to. Because you hit a left overbank, and a left overbank. You know that's going to offer a lot of laterals and airtime right there. So if we slow it down there, we're going to go on to the next coaster here in a second, but this is probably one of the most anticipated coasters. Fortunately, we don't have a lot on Velocicoaster because we don't have an actual POV yet of it, which is fine. We don't need POVs of coasters all the time. What's your opinion of this? Do you think it's going to be a good coaster, or?
Oh, I think it's going to be a wonderful coaster. It's just going to be determining if Universal or Busch Gardens has the better coaster of next year. And really, it's all going to depend on what the person really likes. You know me, I'm usually an inversion guy. So usually this would be my number one for next year. But honestly, I'm kind of leaning towards what we're going to cover next.
Yeah, I agree. I think Iron Gwazi, if it would have opened in 2020, would have been the number one coaster of this year, but we can go straight into Velocicoaster. Just give me 1 second to look up some videos. I'm going to be using Midway Mayhem because he's community friendly, so we could look at test footage because long story short, there's a couple of channels in the industry that aren't really friendly to the community. But let's go ahead and look at this real fast. Midway Mayhem, Velocicoaster. There we go. So we could kind of watch this. I'm gonna mute it though. We don't need to have that on there. If you guys haven't followed Midway Mayhem, Dan, he does the best Velocicoaster updates. I'm down here as well, but I don't go out there as much as he does. He's out there 3 times a week filming. Let me switch over so you guys know what we're talking about. So we're talking about Velocicoaster. It's going to be built in Islands of Adventure. It's scheduled to open in the summer of 2021, but rumors are speculating that it's going to open earlier than that, probably in March or April. Hold on a second. He's probably talking about his pink flamingos right now, or I don't know.
For Adventure 10 minutes.
All right, there we go. So we watch it test here. Now, everybody has to understand that when a coaster's testing, it might not be testing at its full speed potential, and they could be fine-tuning the ride still. So these trains are longer than a lot of the other Blitz coasters that I've seen throughout the world. Maverick has what? How many people does Maverick seat per train? What is it like? 16 maybe?
I think
12.
12. I think it's 6. It's either 6 rows or 8 rows.
Okay.
I don't know. Maverick was closed the last time we were there, so. Woo.
Oh yeah, and we're just talking about United States coasters because if we talked about every coaster in the world, that would be a 3-hour show. But but you can see how it's testing and the theming, and it looks like in this test run it's hauling better than in some of the other test runs that I've seen on other videos. Doesn't it seem like it's hauling a little bit better now? Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? That spike right there looks like it'd be a good pop, but if it's slowing it down that much, I'm kind of like, eh. But it's probably because of that right there. Those Heartline rolls could make the general coaster rider probably pass out on them. I think they were trying to lower the G's on that Heartline roll right after the drop.
I agree with you, Jack.
Yeah, I think they were able to fine tune it and get it right because it was too intense according to Cedar Point. And if it was too intense for Cedar Point, that was probably really intense. However, Velocicoaster definitely he slowed it down. Gotta love. Dan never slows his videos down. That's different. But I don't know. I just like how it moves throughout the structure. It dominates the skyline of Islands of Adventure. There's no way you can miss that walking into the park. But I love these areas around here. Hold on, let me go over here. I love the areas around here. I'm pointing out with the mouse because there's going to be a bridge that goes underneath of here, and you're going to be able to get some good shots of riders and so forth. So kind of reminds me of what they kind of do over at Busch Gardens, because Busch Gardens is kind of that way where you could get close to the coasters and get a lot of good pictures of the riders and stuff. So it's nice to see that Universal's finally heading down that route a little bit. But yeah, you can see it slows that down before hitting that Heartline roll. It has to hit that trim, Jack. It has to hit that trim. I'm reading your comment. It has to hit that trim because that Heartline roll has way too much intensity if it was to hit it at 70 miles an hour. Wave turn looks great. Yeah.
That top cool. I love that top hat.
Yeah, it's really tall, and it kind of makes you think before you hit that drop, but I know we'll enjoy it, especially in the back roll. That back row is probably going to offer a lot of kick to it. Look at that. That back row is going to be a lot more intense than the front row, I think. What do you think this thing's going to open? You think it's going to open in the summer? You think it's going to open earlier than that? Because I have a feeling that it's going to open earlier than June.
May.
You think May?
May, soft opening, late May, early June.
I like how they do that. So you see how the lights turn on there? When the coaster passes by that part of the area, it turns red. so you know when the coaster's headed into that area, which I thought was kind of cool. Yeah, I know trim's to enthusiasts, but can you imagine if Intamin would not add that trim? You'd have a disaster like Intimidator 305, where the public would be passing out on the coaster on the Heartline, Earl.
I 305. 305.
Yeah, but you rode 305 when it was slowed down. When it was first open, people were blacking out on the ride because it was so intense.
That would be amazing.
Blacking out?
I don't think I would black out, but that would be amazing.
But yeah, it's nice to see people's comments on here. We're kind of making it a quick show today, about 40 minutes long. So if we're going through these coasters fast, we apologize, but we have a lot of coasters to cover. Let's go out west and talk about compact dive coaster. Give me just a second to bring up that one. Hold on. Give me just a second here. You guys have any questions, please comment. If we're watching this later, we'll comment on your post.
I will be there opening day, and I'm hoping that they do preview days like they did last year. If so, we'll be there all the preview days because we like being at Holiday World a lot. Well, it's my wife's favorite place other than Disney.
Okay, so somebody comment on Holiday World.
Yeah, Jack asked if we would be there.
Yeah, I can't guarantee I'll be there because
Chris hates me. That's why. If I'm there, he'll stay very far away.
Happy New Year, Steven. Let's talk about Emperor. So there's no compact dive coasters in the United States. I had the first hand of seeing this, how small and compact it is, but I think because it only sits like I don't even know how many riders this thing sit.
3 cars, 6 across, total of 18.
Okay, but it's really small compared to the other ones, but you'll notice that it doesn't slow down after that hold moment. The rest of the coaster is basically full speed ahead. However, it's only like a 50-second ride.
No, 2 minute. Well, probably from Cornell Station, 2 minute, but
yeah. Let's look at that test run here, and then
I was going to say that it doesn't have that bad of a length for being a compact. It's about 2,400 feet in length.
No, and this is a video supplied to us by SeaWorld. We're hoping they invite us out there to that, but we don't know what's going to happen in California next year. So hopefully by next summer we were able to ride it. But you can kind of see how it is. I mean, it looks like it's going to be a pretty intense dive coaster compared to the other ones, but it's over really fast. Like, as soon as we watched that, it was over. So if we go back here, let's look at the lift hill here. There's a hold moment right there. So there's the hold moment. That's it. And the rest of the coaster's full speed. But even when it hits that other, it's just, I think they're trying to add, like, I think on their coasters, what they're trying to do, what I've noticed B&M's trying to do, and we experienced this with Candemonium, mini dive coaster sits mostly drawn out. Emperor looks better than Yukon. Yeah, I think what B&M's attempting to do is try to compete against RMC in terms of throwing a bunch of elements at you in the quickest amount of time instead of drawing them out. So you said, Jack, you say it's going to be drawn out, but if you watch the video again, you'll see that it's just element to element to element, and it's only about a 40-second ride. So I wouldn't say they're drawing them out. They're reusing the same elements, but if they, I wish B&M would go back to their old days. B&M is trying to be like intimate and go like Whippler and more intense kind of. But B&M started all that. I think everybody forgets that B&M in the 90s was intensity, intensity, intensity. and then in the late 90s with the hyper coasters and with the newer models, and in the 2000s and the 2010s, they started building less intense coasters because parks wanted less intensity and wanted coasters that the public could ride. But you look at Kumba. Kumba is 30 years old and it's still intense.
I love Kumba.
Sorry, I'm reading that. And a lot of people are utilizing some RMC elements, like you mentioned, Jack. So what happens is on Canamodium, there's a switchback moment that they kind of utilized. I'm hoping that we could go back there to experience Canamodium when it's busier. So we have a full weight train, and later in the day, I wonder if it runs a lot faster. I wish we could get Zach on the show right now because he just rode Canamodium during their Christmas, and I just want to see what his experience was on it. But yeah, I think Emperor is a great addition to a small park. San Diego's really small. It's not as anticipated as the other ones are, but I think it's going to add a great addition to the park. And it's nice to see that SeaWorld's investing, but what scares me about it is that SeaWorld is broke and they're continuously spending money. However, like I said in yesterday's video, I think Six Flags is going to be the one that files for bankruptcy in 2 years. I don't think it's going to be SeaWorld.
Well, hopefully none of them do.
I think Six Flags is going to, because they're not adding anything new besides at their major parks. They even delayed Aquaman until 2022, if that tells you their financial situation right now.
Yeah, but for the cost of the coaster they announced today, well, that came out today, is quite big.
Yeah, even though I think that announcement's kind of a hit at Great Adventure, which I said yesterday needs more love intended. So what I don't understand is that Great America and Magic Mountain get all the love in the chain, and then you have Great Adventure that has tons of land, and it's an hour from the biggest city in the country, New York City. You think that they would invest more money into a park that has that close proximity to a major city, but they don't. Because there's nothing else out there. When you look at it, there's nothing else closer to New York City than Great Adventure. I thought you were going to say something.
You know my opinion. Six Flags is Six Flags.
Yeah, but I mean, you understand what I'm saying, though. Like, if you have if Cedar Fair had a park next to New York City, that thing would be...
Oh, it would be booming.
And what was the cost of Jersey Devil? I think Coney Island's good, or as it's known now, what is it known now as Luna Park? But cost of Jersey Devil, are you looking that up right now?
Yeah, I only trust RCDB when it comes to things like that, and they don't have it listed.
You know what I'm going to say it costs? Because the Raptor models were about $8 million. I bet it's around 15 to 18. You're mentioning pure parks. I was just saying in general, like major parks. And a lot of the crowd that comes to Great Adventure is from the New York City area or the Philadelphia area. Most people don't want to go out of the city, so they just go to Coney Island. Yeah. And then you have American Dream, which I don't think is going to stay open much longer. Maybe Indiana Beach could grab that the Shredder coaster if they close. That'd be a great Yeah, I agree, because when you go to Great Adventure, there's no hotels out there, and I think that's a huge miss, but it is Six Flags, like Jacob mentioned. Cedar Fair's been aiming towards building lodging so to keep people in their areas, whereas Six Flags is just like, whatever, we gave you a discount pass, come on into our park. And that's what's bankrupting them right now, is their passes, in my opinion. All right, we're gonna talk about. I'm over here just running my mouth on things.
No, you're fine. I'm still looking at for that cost. I'm trying to see if I can find it.
Well, it's not that. It's I know this is no hit against anybody who works for Six Flags or Six Flags in general, because you guys, it's outside of your control. We actually have, I think the PR director for Fiesta Texas sometimes watches our live shows, so we have nothing bad. We don't have anything bad to say. We're just saying that it would be nice to see some of the other parks get some more love. Like Fiesta Texas, we know is kind of their prototype baby, and then graded. Well, my point is,
but they all the big chains do that. I mean, Cedar Fair does the same thing, so
they do. But Cedar Fair also added a lot of new additions this year, even though they were small additions. But yeah, like you said, like you still have that issue with what's the one? Worlds of Fun and Valley Fair and Michigan's Adventure don't really get a lot of additions, you know. Sorry. Give me a second here. It's just weird that you're next to the biggest city in the country, and I just went there in August, and I like the park, but I feel like it's missing something, you know. When you're just adding clone models to your park instead of if you're adding clone models to your park, you're not adding anything original to attract people there, and people are going to travel somewhere else to go ride coasters. But Great Adventure, wonderful park, beautiful area. My opinion of New Jersey definitely changed when I went to Great Adventure. The staff was amazing. The park just experienced a hurricane the day before, so the power was glitching. But El Toro, by far, I wish we had that in our backyard. Shellraiser is beyond vertical one. Shredder's a spinning coaster. Okay, Shellraiser, that's what I meant. I think Indiana Beach will get Kangaroo from Kennywood. Testing ground. All right. We have 6 viewers. I didn't think we were going to get a whole lot like yesterday because New Year's Eve. And it's 10 a.m. in the morning. Most people that watch, there's a couple of people that watch us over in California. 7 o'clock in the morning to start watching a live show is pretty early for those people. So we did find out that our audience did expand out there. And then I looked at our statistics yesterday, and I noticed that we have an audience out of France and the UK, out of all countries, France. So that was interesting. I thought we had an audience out of Germany, but I guess they disappeared this month. Let's go and look at this one. So this is what I joke around. But I call this the Skyrocket 3 model. And there's a reason for that, because it's like the Skyrocket 2, only longer and more intense, but no inversions. And I think this is the path that Premier Rides is going towards. And this is another one of those affordable coasters. I think this thing only costs $8 million, from what I'm understanding. $8 to $12 million. And the only reason I know that is because of the liens filed against them. So this has 4 launches. And after you hit the 4th launch, you're going to go over that top hat, and that's when the ride starts. I had a chance to experience this, see this spike in person, and it looks like it's going to hold you there for a second, but then I was told it's not going to hold you, so I'm kind of confused on why it would have that. I'll show you guys here in a second what I'm talking about. But yeah, you can kind of see how this one I think is going to be, I think this is going to surprise people.
I'm excited for it.
Well, like, it doesn't look intense, but it could surprise us. And it's a good, quick coaster. From what I hear I was talking to Jeremy from Buckeye Coasters. He said that what they're working on right now is they're trying to get the switch track to work properly. Believe it or not, I actually think it is the Skyrocket 3 model.
It's the Premier Rides model line Skyrocket.
Oh, really?
Yeah, your little thingy's wrong at the bottom though. Just throwing that out there.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I forgot to switch over to Icebreaker. Technical difficulties. Maybe it's velocity where it exists for the booster trim. It's actually part of the Skyrocket, not 1, 2, or 3. However, it used to be marked as 3 on RCDB.
Yeah, it's just been changed to Skyrocket model on RCDB.
I'm pretty sure SeaWorld Entertainment got a good deal on it though, because they have, well, they have the Skyrocket 2 model in each of their parks pretty much. Busch Gardens Williamsburg, Busch Gardens Tampa, SeaWorld San Diego, they all have a Skyrocket 2 model. So it's only fair that SeaWorld Orlando gets one. But what about San Antonio? Maybe San Antonio is the next. Oh, wait. Isn't SeaWorld San Antonio the next one to get that? Because didn't they say they were building another coaster there originally for 2022?
Mm-hmm.
You don't know? Full Throttle is a Skyrocket 3. Huh. Interesting. You said, I don't know. New coaster coming to SeaWorld. I'm pretty sure I heard rumors about it.
I don't trust in rumors. I wait for the source. You know me. I'm old school.
Oh, the rumor is, according to Coaster Studios, is the Mac Power Splash, and I trust Taylor. He's usually pretty good on his rumors.
Mac Power Splash.
Hey, they mark that as a coaster though, which I disagree with. That's a different story here. How about we talk about Quimera going to Indiana Beach?
One thing to duly note about Icebreaker is its length is 19 on the footage, 1,900 feet. But the cool thing about it is over the entire ride period, you'll travel about 2,750 feet of track, which will be nice. Makes it a little bit of a longer ride.
I agree. Okay, I'm going to use this guy because if I use Coaster Force, they're going to flag my video. Park Pros had a joke about that. We'll talk about that offline. I don't want to upset anybody in the industry. Here's what's coming to Indiana Beach in 2021. What's your opinion on Quimera? Or they're probably going to call it Triple Loop, but this is a coaster that's going to Indiana Beach in 2021. That's going in the parking lot right next to the Steel Hog. What's your opinion on this? You think this is a great addition to the park for its?
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I mean, I definitely do think it's a interesting addition to the park. I think it is a great addition because, like I've said, is every time we go, the one thing that they're lacking is coasters that go upside down. And this kind of fits in perfectly.
It does, and it looks really intense, and the laterals on it are it just looks like the G's off the laterals are going to be the most intense part of this coaster. Now, give or take, obviously, we know Lafayette was not running trims on it, so it's going to not hit that third loop with that type of intensity. So, but I was told by people that rode it before it went to Lafayette that it was really intense. I think it pulls 4.5 G's, I believe.
4.7.
Which is crazy. Most coasters are pulling like 2.5 to 3.
Yeah, that, and I mean, it doesn't look like a long coaster, but I mean, the track length is 3,444 feet. So it's a big coaster. That doesn't look big, but it's big.
I think it's like 3,600 feet long, I believe. Which is, for Indiana Beach, that'd be the longest, tallest in the park. I can't see it. What does that say? 3,444 feet. IL 305 pulls 5.4.
Why do you think I-305 is my favorite Giga? Actually, it's one of my favorite coasters, but
Yeah, the G's on it. And I know Mindbender over in whatever mall it is, West Edmonton. I heard that one's pretty intense. I think it pulls 5 G's as well. I like how it has the tire lift hill, though, because that pushes the trains up fast. So you're not having to wait long. I think it'll be really safe. All boomerangs pull over 5 G's. Well, that explains why I get really lightheaded during riding them. Well, not all boomerangs. I think Vertigo is probably the most intense one I've ridden.
I love Vertigo.
But like the laterals on this thing, I think you're going to get a lot of pops of ejector too, but this double loop right here is going to.
I don't think my wife's going to ride this.
If they add, they're adding those new trains. I think with the new trains, I think she might be able to handle it at least one time.
It'll be a one and done for her.
But I was watching a special on this, so there was basically a war back. There was basically a war back in the 80s. I'll share it with you. David Wynn, who I'm friends with, shared with me this video, and it was really interesting on how all these Schwarzkopfs came to light. It's unfortunate they went bankrupt, but all the boom pull 5+ G's. Well, if they do that, I mean, they're not as intense. They're not intense to me. You know, the Millie's best Giga. Let's not start that discussion because I will seriously roast Millie to
my wife will get mad because this will go on for so long. I'll be late for her lunch. I could go on all day about how Millie is not the best Giga.
Do the new trains have a shoulder harness? We haven't had the new trains get announced yet on Quimera. What we're thinking is the new triple loop going into Indiana Beach is going to have lap restraints. So the shoulder restraints will not be there.
How does that work?
Well, lap restraints? It's because they're using a different company for the trains. I don't think they're going to go with Premier Rides, though. Look what happened to Manhattan Express. I think that has to do with the fact that somebody didn't tighten down the trains properly on the tracking, but that's a different story on that. And you'd think they would have ran the lift hill at a slower speed to ensure that those wheels. Why didn't they do a pull test with those new trains? Anyways, that's a whole different discussion. I don't even want to get into that. I think that coaster's done. Unfortunately, I was hoping to ride it, but it's not going to happen now. But I think Quimera is a great addition to Indiana Beach. We have a couple other coasters we're talking about. We're going to talk about Pantheon next, and then our last coaster we're going to talk about is a new Raptor model. Am I missing another coaster? Jersey Devil.
Oh yeah. So,
Jersey Devil looks okay. I would rather ride the clone models because they look more intense, but I think it's good for people who don't want intensity. I think it's going to be an out and back airtime machine. Other than that, I don't think you're going to get much else out of it. Can't even watch. That's so stupid. You know, I love how they copy POVs from Six Flags and then they flag videos that aren't even theirs. Anyways. Doesn't Six Flags have? Okay, I'll just use his. AltView doesn't seem. I'd rather promote a channel that needs promotion. Let's go ahead and look at this real fast here. We're going to talk about Jersey Devil now. Jersey Devil's another anticipated coaster if it opens on time. You know, it is Six Flags, so we'll see what happens. This guy must have the longest introduction ever. Hold on. Jeez. Talk about a long introduction. Okay, the thing I like the most on here, and that's about it, is the train design. And that's about the only part of this coaster I'm excited for, to be honest with you.
You're crazy. You're absolutely crazy.
I'm just joking. I think the airtime is going to be great on it. I just wanted intensity, so I'm hoping to get over to Fiesta, Texas here soon. Maybe in February. I'm going to try to talk myself into flying out there to go ride that. But I think we're making a team trip anyways this year over there. So, okay, I take it back.
I was
This
gonna
does
say
look-
it has a dive loop, a zero G stall, a zero G roll, and
Okay, this thing looks like it'll be pretty good. I forgot what it looked like because it's been so long since I've seen this POV. I think the last time I saw this POV was November of 2019. Joker, I don't know. Yeah, I talked about that yesterday. For a park like Great Adventure to take 14 years to get another good coaster is just mind-boggling to me. I don't understand it. We'll look at it one more time here, and then we'll move on to another coaster because I know Jacob's got to get out of here in a few minutes. So,
yeah, this coaster has a length of 3,000 feet. The height's 130 feet. The top speed's about 58, give or take. And of course, you have your 3 inversions, and of course, your vertical angle is at 87 degrees. So I think it's going to be. I'm excited for it, but
it just
I saw it, you don't like Jersey, so it's okay.
I actually enjoyed Jersey. I actually had a lot of fun out there, actually. But I saw this in person, and it just didn't look that big to me up close. I think the single rail's throwing me off because I'm used to seeing so many coasters that look huge, and this single rail makes it look so tiny compared to like if you had a normal size rail on this thing. The mid-course brake run allows it to run 4 train operations, I think 3 or 4 train operations at a time. So
4 trains, 12 cars per trains. So I mean,
this looks like total mayhem. Please get the reference. It's early. This is not. You got the reference? It went over my head. Let's talk about what is it called? Stunt Flyer? Or hold on, we're almost done here. So let's talk about the next anticipated one. What is it called? Stunt Flyer?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yep. Stunt Pilot. Oh my God. Why did I just... So here we go. We'll just look at their little quick introduction. Was it Stunt Pilot?
Yep.
We think this is the coaster that was going to go over to Kentucky Kingdom. Remember we talked about that? We think this is the coaster that Kentucky Kingdom was supposed to have installed. Instead, Silverwood was able to get an approval really fast since they're the only thing that's probably out there. And they are within 50-minute drive of RMC. So the installation and the moving cost of this coaster is not going to cost anything. This is their little introduction. So many of you guys don't know, they used to have an aerial show at Silverwood. And they basically, due to a stunt accident nearby, they canceled it. So this is kind of paying homage to their history. But it's another clone model. It offers the same intensity as probably Wonder Woman and also as, what's the other one called? At Railblazer. And I think it's going to be a great addition to Silverwood. I haven't made it out there yet. I talked to the team about doing this. Basically, we talked about possibly heading out there. Still bad. Yeah. Intamin. Okay, so that was discussed earlier, right? So Intamin, when they first designed these models and came out with them with their with Cedar Point, they told Cedar Point that they could offer so much capacity. You know, if Kentucky Kingdom had to pay for the fabrication, I think they made a down payment personally, Jack, and if you look at the latest post by Silverwood had to add new they had to add this logo onto the trains. So I think the color scheme, because if you look at Kentucky Kingdom, their color scheme is almost the same for every single coaster besides Lightning Run. Most of their coasters are red and white, correct? Am I correct on that, Jake? Most of their coasters are red and white. So
Sort of.
I think they possibly might have went for kind of the same thing as Silverwood since they're so close to the airport.
The park colors are more red and white than the roller coasters are. There's a lot of red.
Yeah, and I think, but if you notice, they had to add the logos as soon as the trains got to Silverwood, which tells me point and blank that this was a. Thank you. You have it back. Thank you. That tells me point and blank that it was probably originally made for a different park. That park, obviously, because of COVID, couldn't follow through with their plans. So in return, it went there. They have a good relationship with RMC at Kentucky Kingdom, so I think RMC probably is going to let them have another one, but it won't open until 2022. I don't think Kentucky Kingdom lost their deposit on there. I think roller coaster manufacturers this year are being more lenient than they have in the past because of the COVID-19 thing. Let's go ahead and look at Pantheon. I know you had to get out of here, Jacob. So
yeah.
What?
Happy wife, happy life.
We don't even have a POV on this. Let's look at Amusement Insider for this. This is our last anticipated coaster. Am I missing one? I feel like I'm missing. Let's talk about Pantheon. This is what they assume it's going to be like because they have enough to track together where they know what it's basically going to be like now. This is from Amusement Insider. Follow them on YouTube. Just going over a review of this. I think this is going to be along the lines right there with Velocicoaster without the inversions. Almost the same elements, almost the same type of setup. I think it's operating off the Blitz trains as well, isn't it? And it is offering inversions. So, okay, here's my theory, Jacob, and I know you're not going to like it. I think the best new coaster of 2021 is going to be a toss-up between Velocicoaster or Pantheon and not Iron Gwazi.
I can see it.
Yeah, because I'm just seeing so many similar elements of Pantheon and Velocicoaster. Especially, I like the fact that they even add in a spike in this one. Look at this top hat right here, and then you go backwards into a spike, and then front again. If this thing operates the way it's supposed to, wow. Oh yeah, this coaster right here. I think a lot of people forgot about Pantheon because everybody's been talking about Iron Gwazi and Velocicoaster, but I think a lot of people have forgotten about this one. Look how it stalls under there, and you can see it's going to run right by the Rhine River, I think, over in the Germany section. Oh yeah, I'm actually excited for this one too. I think the top three next year. What would you say? Velocicoaster, Iron Gwazi, Pantheon.
Yeah.
And Quimera, but Quimera is not a new coaster. It's just a relocated coaster. So top three new coasters.
All right. Well, I got to get out of here, Chris.
All right. Well, Jacob's going to head out. Happy New Year to you. I'll talk to you later. We'll go ahead and close out the show, and then we'll be back. After the new year, we're starting a new series on Midwest Coaster Fans. We're starting our podcast series on here, and it's going to start next week. And we are going to pre-record it and post it to YouTube. We're going to premiere it, though, and we will answer live comments on YouTube. And then if you guys haven't already, we have a series called Coaster Therapy If you go on any of your formats on Spotify, on iTunes, anywhere, you could find it. And that's going to be the name of the coaster series. And we're going to have a variety of different shirts geared towards it. Coaster therapy. It's going to have a bunch of sayings and stuff. So it's going to be a fun little thing that we're doing differently next year. So, might be a maintenance nightmare because of the switch track. I heard they're still working out the kinks of that, and I pretty much SeaWorld and Busch Garden maintenance is on top of stuff like that. So I think they'll do fine with it. However, like you said, they are utilizing a new technology. Let's see how it works. I wonder who's going to get it more right, either Premier Rides with Icebreaker or Pantheon with Intamin. Dragon Slayer. I know you're being funny here. I'm talking about real coasters. I know some of you guys might like 4D models. We're not one of them. But yeah, sure. We can talk about Dragon Slayer. It's a smaller version of the other models found at Six Flags parks for the S&S free spin coasters. I think it's a good small park coaster, I guess, but you already know the experience of that. We're talking about real coasters. I'm kind of on the border. I know it's a real coaster, but you know what I mean. Once you've ridden one free spin, you've ridden them all pretty much. What's your guys' comments? What is your most anticipated coaster for next year? For 2021, what is your most anticipated coaster? Go ahead and comment. Let's go ahead and get some interaction going on this poll. Like I said, and I'm going to put it at the bottom so many of you guys can see the new coasters because many of you guys might not know. Thanks for joining us this morning, by the way. All right, guys, give me just a second to answer your. I'm really struggling this morning. As long as we don't have technical difficulties like that one, like yesterday, I'm cool with it. All right. So that's going to be all the new coasters besides, obviously, Dragon Flyer or Dragon Slayer. Dragon Slayer. Oh. Mine is Taurus, not in the U.S., but the world's #1. Okay. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about overseas parks next week. I just got to do more research on them because our primarily coverage is United States parks. But yeah, we'll look into that. Velocicoaster, a Veloci and Pantheon, Tautaris. Let's go ahead and look at that because why am I not familiar with this? Are you spelling that right? Tautaris. Okay, it looks like it's not opening for a little bit here from what I'm seeing on there. I did see it. It's not scheduled to open till what, 2022, or is it still opening in 2021? Yeah, I saw it on here, but it looks like I don't see it. I'm not seeing any like new updates on it. The terrace. There it is. Let's take a look at this real fast, I guess. This is the one you're talking about. Yeah, it's got the same elements. You got the top hat, and then looks like the reverse lawn. So yeah, you're right. It's kind of the same thing. I think Intamin's doing great with it. I like the theming of this one. That's what I like about European parks is the theming. Let's go and talk about this one as well. Obviously, this is from No Limits, so this is not the actual park POV. But you definitely see what he's talking about. Yeah, you're right. It kind of reminds me of a mixture of both of them put together. Definitely on that. And the theming's wonderful. Yeah, it should definitely be a great addition. And we're going to go back over here. I'm going to exit out of that one. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's show. I was finally able to get another member of our team to join. Everybody's been extremely busy with new jobs, new work, which is a good thing. So yeah, we definitely want to wish you guys a happy new year over here at Midwest Coaster Fans. I hope you guys enjoyed today's show. We will be back here next week, like I said, and we're gonna have one live show a week. That ride looks amazing. He got pushed back to 2023 though. Oh wow, that's huge. 2023. That's in like 2.5 years. Wow. Hey Greg, don't worry about it. YouTube has it. Just go back to the beginning of it, and you can watch the whole show. I'll be more than happy. We'll be more than happy to comment on if you have any comments later. I go back and forth to YouTube. So yeah, just follow through to the beginning. We went over all the park POVs and all the coasters anticipated: Icebreaker, Velocicoaster, Pantheon, Emperor, Stunt Pilot, Iron Gwazi, and Quimera. And we went over all those coasters. And if you get a chance, yeah, go ahead and watch it back from the beginning. All right, have fun. Happy New Year to all you guys. Here's to 2021 being better than 2020. And I kind of want to go out with a cartoon, but I won't do it because I don't want to get flagged. But they just pulled a bigger lightning rod than lightning rod. Oh yeah, lightning rod is being redone right now, so that'll be a good new coaster experience over at Dollywood. So, all right, guys. With that being said, you guys have a wonderful day. Thanks again for joining us. If you guys didn't get a chance to watch this whole video, go back to the beginning, watch it. It's going to be 58 minutes long. This will not fully post to YouTube until tomorrow, but you could actually watch it. YouTube and StreamYard are weird, and it takes forever to post this, but if you wanted to go on our Facebook, you can watch the whole thing, or just go to Midwest Coaster Fans, search on YouTube. You'll see this, and just go to the beginning. It's going to be roughly about an hour long. All right. Happy New Year to you guys. Here's to a better year than 2021. And join us next week on January 4th as we go. We'll have our first ever show of the new year, and I'm going to have a bunch of update videos this weekend and coverage from Cincinnati Zoo that Zach just previously recorded, Scene 75, and also he went and rode Candemonium during Hershey Park's Christmas event. So with that being said, Chris signing off, and Midwest Coaster Fans, until next year, have a great one. Goodbye.